What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So I'm watching Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank Martin's build up to their fight. And so Frank Martin is signed to Errol Spence's promotional company, Man Down Promotions. He's Errol Spence's fighter. So you know Errol Spence is there to support Frank Martin, right? And so they asked him, he's getting interviewed by Fight Hype, and they asked him about Bud potentially fighting Canelo Alvarez, right? And Errol Spence says, I'll be going for Bud if he fights Canelo. I think if anybody can pull it off, Terence could pull it off. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and fought Kovalev, and then I think he said the other dude, I'm thinking he mentioning Bivol, right? And so he's saying, man, why can't Terence pull it off? I think he can pull it off, and anybody can pull it off. Y'all, Errol Spence is a real ass dude, man. Through and through. And I always say this shit every time when I see certain stuff like this. It's hard for me not to root for that brother. I'm always going to be a fan. For one, a lot of dudes, after they get beat, they'll be salty and say, you know what? Nah, ain't no way in hell Terence beating Canelo. He ain't beating Canelo. Canelo too big, too strong, whatever. Errol say, no, man. I'm riding with Terence. I'm riding with him. I'm going with him. That's who I'm picking to win if I'm riding with him. You know, a lot of dudes would have been salty. I ain't picking Crawford. I'm picking Canelo because I ain't picking the dude that beat me. No. And I also believe Errol Spence knows the ability that Terence has after fighting Terence. The skillfulness of Terence Crawford, his punching power, his ring IQ, the way Terence can parry shots, the way he can slip shots, counter. Errol like, nah, I'm riding with dude. And this is the real thing too, man. Errol never goes against the grain. I respect that shit, bro. You never gonna see a Mexican dude picking against a Mexican fighter. Robert Garcia and them not picking against no Mexican fighter. They gonna tell you, man, he Mexican, man. I'm going with the Mexican dude. A lot of black fighters, they don't want to be looked at as racist. They be scared to stand with black fighters because they don't want, you know, people to look at them and call them racist or call them biased. Errol Spence don't get no fuck. I do believe Errol really believes that Terence could beat Canelo. I really do believe he believes that Terence could beat Canelo. But at the same time, even if he didn't, Errol's still gonna ride with Terence. And that's staying on code. Errol stays on code, man, and standing with black fighters, man. And that's salutable to me. That is, man. Like, he's a real ass brother, man. Real ass dude. And I promise y'all, once their careers are over, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, you probably gonna see them kicking it together. I think they really do got a lot of respect and admiration for each other, and they like each other a lot. It's just that, man, this was they were the two top guys in the welterweight division. You had some fans over here, some fans over there. It really divided the black fan base up. Errol, some with Errol, some with Terence, and it had people split. After Errol got beat from pillar to post like that, and he got dismantled. He did. That's my guy. Errol is one of my favorite fighters, for real. But he got demolished in that fight. You know, and after that, you had some people jumping ship from Errol, from being an Errol supporter, and then, you know, clowning him out and all that. Nah, I ride with dude. I rock with dude all the way. And just some other stuff, man. The way he's standing with Frank Martin, Gervonta Davis, his mans. Errol don't get no fuck, man. I'm riding with my dude. I'm letting my fighter know I got his back 100%. I'm not sounding iffy on shit I'm saying. I'm standing firmly with him. Leonard Ellaby and them, he rock with Leonard and them, man. Errol is a PBC fighter, and Tank is his homie. But he like, nah, I'm riding with my dude. I don't give a fuck what Leonard talking about. You know, even though he rock with Leonard, I'm standing full throttle with my guy, with my fighter. And that's some real shit. A lot of dudes, when another dude is their homie, they kind of like to mince words. They don't want to seem like they're that confident in their fighter. They're like, man, he can be, you know, it's just going to be a great fight, man. It's just going to be a great fight. I mean, anybody could win. No, Errol like, no, Frank going to win. And regardless if anybody believes that or not, you got to respect Errol. Like, look, even though that's his boy, no, fuck that. I'm standing with my dude. And I'm sure Frank Martin definitely appreciate that, man. You rocking with a dude signing him, You want to believe that, hey, the dude that I'm signed to believe in me and my abilities and, you know, my mental fortitude, my resiliency, and my skills. And Errol I really do believe he believes in Frank Martin for sure. I'm going to do a preview of that fight as well. And I'm going to do some stuff around that fight too, because the fight is this weekend. But yeah, man. Excuse me, man. But Errol a real ass brother, man. Just a real dude. I ain't doing no hating, man. No, man. Terence the real deal. I'm backing him. I believe he could pull it off if anybody could pull it off. Salute. Respect. That's respect. Because you could do some hating ass shit and say some hating shit and go for Canelo just because you got beat from pillar to post. But hell no. Fuck it. You know, I'm glad to see Errol back out, looking healthy, you know, in good spirits, supporting this guy. And again, standing down firmly. He up in there going at Tank at the press conference. That's his man's. And still like, no, man, hell no. What is you talking about? What you talking? I'm standing with Frank, man. I'm standing with Frank, supporting him. I don't care. Stop talking. You're doing too much talking. I'm riding with my guy. You know, they even got to going back and forth and Errol telling him, hey, Tank, you ain't fought nobody like that. You ain't fought nobody for real, right? And if Errol believes that or not, one thing you can't say about Errol Spence is he didn't fight nobody. Errol's run at welterweight, only people he didn't fight was Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. The only reason he didn't fight Manny because he got hurt. But I mean, from fighting Kell Brook and stopping Kell Brook in his hometown, getting the IBF strap, beating Sean Porter, beating Yordenis Ugas after Ugas. A lot of people feel like Yordenis Ugas beat Sean Porter for sure. A lot of people feel like that. Beating up on Danny Garcia, the worst than Danny's ever been beaten before. Hell, even people don't want to count this. The Mikey Garcia fight, it was a lot of people. Sugar Ray Leonard and them thought Mikey was going to beat Errol Spence. A lot of people felt like regardless of Errol's size and all of that, they felt like Mikey was the more skillful fighter. He had the better skills, just the better ring generalship, etc. They just felt like Errol was just a come forward guy, and they felt like Mikey was going to outsmart Errol because they felt like Errol was just a brute. Errol went out there and beat Mikey pillar to post, beat Mikey at every single thing Mikey was good at, with skill, not just power, because he didn't stop Mikey. But he whooped him. He beat him like easily, all 12 rounds. You know what I mean? And Mikey was a pound for pound talent at that point. People couldn't fuck with Mikey at that point. After that, Mikey been a shell of himself after he took that beating from Errol. But yeah, man, you can't. You know, Errol said you don't fight nobody, telling the Tank that. I do believe Tank needs to fight some higher competition, and he gonna step it up. But this fight here it's a great competition to me. Him and Frank Martin, great competition. Frank is a fighter that is making a lot of traction. A guy that a lot of people feel like, hey man, he could cause some problems for Tank. Now a lot of people ain't picking Frank to win. You got some people picking Frank to win. A lot more than people usually do when somebody's fighting Tank Davis, right? But Tank is clearly the clear favorite without question. But you got a lot of people like, man, listen, you can't sleep on Frank. He got skills, he got ability, he a dog, great conditioning, high motor, high engine, and he can crack. He can't crack like Tank, but he can crack though. You know, and so it'll be fun to watch without question. But yeah, man, I saw that from Errol. I'm like, man, that's why I root for that brother. No matter how he lost against a dude, he gonna tell you the real shit, man. Nah, that motherfucker can fight, man. He talented, he's skilled. Terence Crawford, a bad dude. He said, look, I'm going with Bud, man. If anybody can do it, he can do it. And that's real stuff, man. And Errol always gonna stand with the brother, man. And I respect it because the Mexicans gonna stand with La Raza. You know? The Puerto Ricans gonna stand with the Puerto Ricans, man. They ain't playing with y'all. The Filipino people, you ain't seeing nobody in Philippines riding against Manny Pacquiao. Hell no. You not seeing it. Dude from Venezuela, Dominican Republic, they riding with their guys, man. Errol like, no, man, I ain't never seen Errol pick against a black fighter. I ain't never seen that, man. And so, shout out to Errol for staying on code and not going against the grain. A lot of y'all people gonna feel like it's racist, but black folks know what I'm talking about. EJ a solid dude.